Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, in this video, we're actually going to outline the 12 steps to actually purchasing a home here in the East Bay. Now, before we get started, if you look around the screen, you're going to see a link to our home search site. Go out there, search for your dream home, and when you get ready to reach out to us, we love the opportunity to help you. Also, if you own a home and you're going to be buying or selling a home, downsizing, upsizing, or something like that, we've also got a link out there to figure out what the value is of your home and get monthly updates on your most valuable assets. Now, let's get in talking about the steps to really kind of buying a home here in the East Bay. Now, I'm actually a little biased on this and things, and the top 3 steps can be juggled around anywhere. And I'm going to tell you, my thought is that the first step is really to find a realtor, because the realtor is going to be your guide through the entire process. You know, the next 2 steps really kind of involve figuring out your budget and connecting with a loan officer. Now, good realtors are going to help you figure out your budget. They're going to know approximately what you're going to be paying, what kind of closing costs, what kind of programs are out there when it comes to down payment and so forth, and they're going to help guide you through the process. Now, the detail and the facts are really going to come from connecting with that lender. Now, a good realtor is going to connect you with a good lender, okay? So first step in it is really kind of connecting, finding that realtor. Next step in the process is, looking at your budget and figuring out what you want to pay for a home on a monthly basis. Now, here's the thing: is a lot of times we'll qualify for a lot more, and it's okay to say, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. I want to take a step back and I want to pay just a little less than what I can actually qualify for. So that's a smart, prudent thing to do. Again, your realtor is going to help you sit down, figure out approximately what you're going to be paying, what you need to pay for down payment and so forth. But the most important thing is they're going to connect you with a good lender. A good lender is going to get you pre-qualified, go through very specifics of all the details, tell you specifically what you're going to qualify, tell you specifically what you're going to pay and so forth, give you rates and so forth, the exact rate at that point in time. Now, here's the thing: rates are going to bounce around, and we won't be able to lock a rate until you get in the contract. So, but they're going to get you down that path, and they're going to help you with your budget and so forth. Now, the next step in the process is really we want to start looking for homes. Now, this could be the first step, and there's plenty of times where I've seen people go out on the internet and they're searching for homes and so forth. They don't have a pre-approval, they don't have a realtor, and that's okay. You can search, see what's out there, get a sense of price, get a sense of what the condition of homes are and so forth, get a sense of what the market, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your first step. I see plenty of people coming in, open houses, and they have not connected with a realtor, they haven't connected with a lender. So again, the first 4 steps, again, I say first connect with a realtor, figure out your budget, connect with a loan officer, and start looking for homes. Now, once you connect with a realtor, a good realtor is going to kind of get you down to the cities, the features and so forth you want in the home. They're going to talk to you about that, what's important to you, and they're going to set up property alerts. They're going to come right out to your email, and they're going to show everything that's listed that day, or everything that's on the market that's going to be a fit for you within your price range, your features and so forth. There'll be minor things that you have to look through the pictures and kind of figure it out. Now, a good realtor also is going to be able to kind of help you, is going to have better eyes through the pictures, because they're looking at these things all the time. So they're going to help you kind of identify those things that are most important to you, and possibly direct you to homes that are going to be the best fit for you and things. Okay? So the next step in the process is making an offer. Now, you've gone out there, you've been searching for homes, you've visited homes, and you're going to make an offer. Now, a good realtor, again, that's the first step along the way, is really going to kind of help you hone in on 2 things: what the home is worth, what you should be offering, and in many cases, sometimes when you're talking to East Bay, there may be a price that you need to offer that may be a little higher to actually get you in the contract. So one of the things, when we've got really hot markets and things, we may be offering significantly more than what the comps are showing and things that this home is worth, and the home's going to catch up to that value and things down the road. So sometimes, again, we're looking at what fair offers are, and sometimes we also have to consider what we need to offer to get into the home. So that's actually price, and then we got to think about terms. Sometimes we've got to adjust our terms to really kind of help out the seller to get ourselves in contract. Sometimes we have to do things like give rent back, or reduce our inspection contingencies, or make adjustments to our appraisal contingencies, and these contingencies are the things that protect you in the process, and sometimes you have to shorten them up and things, or kind of make concessions with them, okay? And in the offer process, once we get in the contract, or correction, once somebody has looked at our offers, sometimes they'll come back and they'll do a counter offer to us. They can accept the offer, they can deny the offer, or they can counter us. And sometimes they'll come back with counter offers. These counter offers can be multiple, where it goes up to many buyers, or just one coming to you and things. And once you've signed that counter offer and agreed to it, we're then in contract. Now, that counter offer, you can also counter back. So that happens frequently as well. The next step is really navigating escrow. So once we get into contract, we've got to also go through escrow. Escrow is the process that we go through to buy a home. It's once we've gone into contract to buy a home. Now there's a process where we do our inspection. The home is appraised. Lenders do their final due diligence and paperwork and so forth. Title is searching for any liens, that kind of stuff. They're getting liens that are out there, like the first mortgage or other loans and so forth, and they're getting demands, the demand to pay off, and that's the actual amount that's owed that they need to pay off, and they're structuring all that. They're also going to set you up to sign. They're going to set the sellers up to sign. And once we close, they're going to distribute the money and so forth. Okay. We are also going to put in a deposit into escrow, so they'll hold on to a deposit for you and things. And towards the end, they make sure all the funds go to where it needs to be. One of the most important steps that I mentioned earlier in escrow is your inspections. Most properties, we're definitely going to recommend what's called a property inspection, which is an overall inspection of a home. A lot of times we're going to do a pest inspection. Here in the East Bay, pest inspections really focus in on termites and also dry rot in the home. So those two things, so they're not necessarily talking rodents and things. A lot of times chimney inspections, because that's an area we're dealing with fire and so forth, so it becomes real important. Something we don't think about quite a bit is sewer inspections. Again, that's an area, aging homes, sometimes the sewers are made out of clay, and we want to get the inspections. A lot of times the cities dictates that we get a sewer inspection. Roof inspection is going to be real important. Sometimes it's part of the property inspection, but something that's pretty significant to look at. A lot of times the overall property inspectors will recommend other inspections. Some that come in that may be real important is foundation, having an engineer or geologist come out and look at the foundation. Also drainage, dealing with the foundation, but also dealing with the property around, how water's running and so forth, because that water can cause tremendous damage to your foundation and could be pretty expensive. So those inspections come into play that are real important. One of the things we always talk about is the appraisal, and then leading to final closing. Appraisal, again, if you're buying the property with a loan, it's going to need an appraisal. Sometimes you can get the appraisal waived if you're coming in with a large down payment, but in most cases you're going to have an appraiser that's going to come out. The appraiser is going to visit the home, walk through, take pictures and so forth, and come up with an estimate of the value of the home. And this is going to be a big part of the loan. So the loan, they're not going to clear loan contingency until the appraisal is done. And once the appraisal is done, then the appraisal is not only to value your home. So let me restate that. There are sometimes some things that the appraisers are going to check for. For instance, on just conventional loans, they're going to, in the East Bay here, they're going to make sure that you've got double strapped hot water heater. You're going to ensure that you have smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. So a couple things. Also, when we're talking VA loans and FHA loans, there's a health and safety component that goes along with that. So there's a couple more things that the appraisers are involved in. And sometimes it's just a visual inspection of the condition of the home as well that the appraiser gets involved in. Once that gets back, it goes to the lender. The lender does his final review. And then they're going to give you a conditional approval at that point. And that's when we really start moving towards signing and getting the property closed. The next thing we really want to look at, and this is number 10, I know I have been counting the numbers in the past, but this is number 10, is the final walkthrough. And the final walkthrough, we typically do it within 5 days of close. And, we're just walking through for two things. We want to make sure that if the home is in the condition that you bought it in. Number two, that if there were any repairs or so forth that had to be done on homes, those items were completed. So also we're looking at things, if there were furniture in the home and so forth, hopefully now they're moved out and we can make sure the home is still in the same condition that we bought it in and so forth. There wasn't anything that we didn't see, hidden, that kind of stuff, Next up is signing. Again, typically what's going to happen is you're going to meet with a notary, or going to meet with the escrow officer, or maybe even the notary at the title company, and you're going to go through and sign it. And you're going to sign your loan at that point in time. You're going to sign your closing statement at that point in time, and your loan documents, and you're going to sign deed of trust and so forth at that point in time. You're going to meet face to face because the deed of trust requires an ink signature, and it's going to have to be a notarized signature. Right? Once that is signed, then the paperwork is going to go back to escrow. It's going to go to the lender. Once the lender clears it, then we go to the next step where we get ready for funding and final close. And then speaking about close, the last step is escrow closes. We fund. Escrow sends us an email saying, hey, we've recorded with the county and you're going to get keys. And so, and then it really begins, because owning a home is kind of like college. You work so hard for it, and then you finally get a job, and that's actually the beginning of your career and your career and things there. And it's the same when you own a home. You work real hard to get there and things, and it's not necessarily the finish line. Now you own a home, and you've got to do the things to take care of that home and so forth. Okay. So guys, remember, if you look around the screen and you're looking for your dream home, there'll be a link to our search page. Go out there, search for your home, and reach out to us when you get ready to buy. Also, we've got another link out there that if you own a home, you're downsizing, upsizing, or something like that, just want to keep track of the value of your home, go out there and leave your information behind, and we'll make sure you get updated on a regular basis regarding the price of your home or value of your home. Guys, hey, have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon now. Bye-bye.